welcome to Ask Rip, answering your questions from the internet. This is from someone called LaBelle ATL. Would that be LaBelle in Atlanta? From Instagram, LaBelle, like Patti LaBelle, famous, soul singer.
I'm pretty sure
Patti
it's
LaBelle.
not who it
Probably
is.
not who it is, but just in case it is, that's cool. How large is your whiskey collection and what's on your top shelf? What have you been enjoying drinking the most recently? Well, that's a pretty good question. That might take a while. My top shelf has gotten to the point where at one time we had 130 different bottles out at the house. 130 different bottles, and we had inventory on all those good ones. Now, I really, just like everybody else, I enjoy the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection stuff, and I really enjoy wheated whiskeys that are bottled at high proof. I have a bottle of William LaRue Weller that I've had open now for about 5 years. Get in it about once a year. I've got argon on top of it so it doesn't oxidize. Take care of that pretty closely. I've got several of those things left. I have a bottle of George T. Stagg that I don't get into very much. We just did a side-by-side the other night out of the house with the staff, and had Nick and Matt and Tom out, and who else was there?
Nick from Albuquerque, Nick Solon.
Solon was out there with us too, yeah. Well, that's who I was talking about. I wasn't talking about you. Yeah, you were there, but so we had a bottle of Stagg Junior, which is, in my opinion, the best value on the market right now. I'm paying $51 a bottle for that when I find it in Colorado. I don't catch it distributed here in Texas. Texas has extremely poor whiskey distribution, and the only liquor store that I have been to in the state of Texas that I thought had a decent selection was a Specs store there on the other side of 75. I think it's at Walnut Hill in Dallas. They have that's a 30,000 square foot store, and they've got quite a bit of selection in there. That's a show place. That's a great store, and they've got a bunch of whiskey. But Stagg Junior is hard to find here.
We had a 6-year Willet that night too. Is that not?
We have no. It's on the top shelf. I'm getting to that. I'm trying to get through this wheated stuff. So I've got Stagg. I got Stagg Junior. We side by sided those,
Yep.
and there's a noticeable difference. But the Stagg Junior is still an incredible value for $51. I've got the Thomas H. Handy Sazerac. I've got 2-3 bottles of that stuck back. I've got one unopened bottle of Van Winkle Lot B. The Pappy's highly overrated. It's idiocy. That kind of money is just. I screwed up and spent $215 on a bottle of whiskey one time, because you have to do that once just to know why you don't do that every day. $70, $80, $90 is plenty of money for a bottle of whiskey. I've gotten to the point where Scotch is not as interesting to me as it used to be. I don't know why. Maybe I'll go back to it sometime soon. I've got a lot of rye. Willet, I've got a 6-year-old bottle of Willet. I've got a 4-year-old bottle of Willet. At one time, I had a 6, a 5, a 4, a 3, and a 2. Had all 5 expressions in the cabinet, and it's an interesting juxtaposition just to pour the things up in age and just have a taste and see the difference that time makes in the wood. And it's quite a nice little study. Just recently moved my Woodinville rye up to the top shelf because that stuff's good. You guys up in Seattle ought to buy that, because it's not a lot of money, and it's excellent whiskey. They're rye. I've never had the bourbon.
The beginner whiskey guy, or gal, if they're at the store and they see something, what should they buy?
Well, Here, as a general rule, don't buy whiskey bottled at 80 proof. I'm not aware of any quality product bottled at 80 proof. Everything's going to be bottled at a higher proof than that. So everything you see that's bottled at 80 proof, just skip over that. It's inevitably not very good. Some of the more reliable stuff comes from Buffalo Trace, of course. Our friends at Buffalo Trace are leading the way in the industry right now with good products at affordable prices. That Eagle Rare 10-year-old, that's their normal expression for a $32 bottle of whiskey. That's beautiful bourbon, wonderful stuff. Willet 2-year-old, the stuff they are distilling themselves, as opposed to the LDI stuff they just aged previously, is turning out very well. And the Willet company is doing a wonderful job of bringing their own products out and bottling their own distillate, where previously they bought stuff from EGP. But this is it's a rapidly expanding market right now, and there's lots and lots and lots of independent distillers out there making stuff that you're just going to have to go ahead and buy a bottle of, try it, and get it over with. Most of it's not any good. There are several really good small distillers, but there's a lot of really bad ones. There are a lot of really bad ones. People are just cashing in on the demand for bourbon, and in my opinion, they're not doing as good a job as our craft beer makers have done over the past 20 years. But that'll all sort itself out, and pretty soon we'll be over this initial surge of new whiskey production. At any rate, the stuff I like is are the American products that we're seeing come out right now, and I'm still exploring my way through all of the new versions of bourbon and rye. But what it really boils down to is that at this point in time, and I hate to say this, but the larger companies seem to be doing a better job of taking care of their product, from distillation through maturation in wood and bottling. And Buffalo Trace is just hats off to those guys. They do a great job.